who do not know me, my name is Rashawn Elliott. I am a regional sales director with my company. And we're going to talk today. We're going to talk to one of my business partners, Mr. Davis Onque, so that you guys can learn what it is we do, how we do it. Davis, turn that audio a little bit down. I can hear myself. One of my business partners, Davis Onque, maybe your phone or something. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man.
Okay, I'm getting feedback from your side. We're gonna chop it up with him just for a little while, so he can talk about his experience before the company, after the company, before the company and after joining the company, and what he's been able to do for some people. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Mr. Davis Onque. Mr. Davis Onque, take the floor. Tell us about you.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna say first of all, let me say thank you for even doing this, man. I'm trying to share this to my page so people can see it at the same time.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna say first of all, let me say thank you for even doing this, man. Let me see. I can't seem to get that up there, but let me see here.
Can you turn your audio down on your phone just a little bit?
Yes, sir.
A lot of feedback.
All right. Yeah, actually, I don't need the audio on there. I see where it's up, so I'm just trying to share it before we get started here. Good.
Okay.
Before we get going. So let's see. Copy link.
You shouldn't have to copy. You should just be able to share it.
Yeah, I see share, but it doesn't say to me. I got share, but it's showing me all these other groups that I can share it in and all that, but not myself.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Here, I'm going to share it to your page.
Okay, please do.
Absolutely. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Davis Onque?
All right, let's see. Once again, let me go back a little bit since I was looking down at my phone. Let me say thank you to you, man, for even doing this live with me and giving me the opportunity just to be on here with you and let people know what we're doing, what I'm doing. This is actually my first live actually going and talking about what I do and all that stuff. People have seen me posting and probably seen me posting people that I've helped get homes and cars and things in this past year. But I just felt like I need to go on and tell my story a little bit. So I just want to give it back up to you as my regional sales director and actually the person that brought me into this company, and seeing the things that you're doing and the people that you're helping and the things that's going on, even in our little organization. I just want to say thank you to you. And man, I just hope to see you at the top.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right. So everyone who's watching and listening, again, my name is Davis Onque. I am a senior field trainer in this amazing company. And let me see, believe it or not, for my nearly 30-year, I guess, professional background, that consists of American Airlines, working out of New Jersey, where I was a fleet service clerk, crew chief, as well as a union shop steward. And after leaving there, I went to a company called Time Warner Cable, which is now Spectrum, here in North Carolina, where I currently live. And I held several positions, but I think my favorite at Time Warner Cable was the communications specialist, where I traveled in and out of the United States. Let's see. While at both jobs, they both were financially stable, believe it or not. They both had their nuances as well. During my career at American Airlines, my family and I relocated to North Carolina. But during that time, it was right after September 11th, so a lot of people had got laid off. And being that it was a union job, I couldn't get a transfer to North Carolina. And so I was still working in New Jersey, but living in North Carolina. So I was traveling back and forth week to week and stuff like that. And that took kind of a toll on my wife. So I made the executive decision to resign from American Airlines. So I left there after about 13 years in September of 2003. So in 2004, I started at Time Warner Cable, which was Spectrum. Now, one thing I didn't like about Spectrum was that, since I was in the union and working a union job so many years, this wasn't a union. So corporate jobs, they kind of have their life in your hands. So they can basically fire you or lay you off or do anything that they want to do at their will or as the company or the budget needs allow. So in addition to that, me not liking that part of it, in December of 2016, I was diagnosed with stage 5 kidney disease. And in March of 2017, I actually started on dialysis. And now, during that time of me starting on dialysis, I got laid off from Time Warner, which was, in Spectrum. So, and I've been actually collecting disability insurance since September of 2017. So moving forward in about 2020, so I was presented with this opportunity back in February of 2020 by, again, the gentleman you see on who I'm on this live with, Regional Sales Director Sean Elliott and Sales Director Miss Erica Barnett. I believe it or not, I joined specifically for the entrepreneurial side of things, but the ability to raise my own credit score was, and with the other wonderful service that we had, was like a bonus. So I jumped all over it. So I immediately got excited about the future. So I was thinking about additional income, the insurance policy that we had, the will and trust. So it's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle that I could add in addition to my portfolio that I already had set up for the family and the children and grandchildren and everything else like that. So and this opportunity doesn't necessarily interfere with my new lifestyle of having to go to dialysis 3 times a week, and things of that nature. So even after I get the kidney transplant, and I say get it because I know it's coming, I know God got me covered on that. After it comes, I know that things will get better, and I can still do this business while helping others to live out their dreams as well.
Okay, hey man, that was powerful. Now, I don't know if you knew at the time, but maybe you did. But that trip was a very emotional trip for me, right? Because when we came to North Carolina to do a presentation at the church, I was really reunited for the first time in almost 30 years with my father's brother. Now, for most of the people who don't know this about me, my biological dad was killed, shot in the head when I was 5 years old. And we moved away from New Jersey back in 1991. And then almost 30 years later, actually just over 30 years later, I was reunited with my uncle. They had reached out to me, or I reached out to them. I don't know which one was which, but they agreed to come and they agreed to allow us to come down and do a presentation at the church. Now, to my knowledge, at the time, this was the first time that I actually met you, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Right. There's a little bit more to that, right?
Right.
Why don't you share that with the people?
Okay. There's believe it or not, there's a lot more to it. It's so funny. When, as you said, your uncle is my brother-in-law. So, and my sister and he have been married 35 years, maybe 36 this year in June, I think. And so I actually knew him probably at least 37, maybe 40 years. I don't even know. We don't lost count how long I knew him. So I remember you, like you said, I'm probably about maybe 7 years older than you, 6 years older than you. So as we used to come around your cousins, your aunt's house, Aunt Janice, we used to see, and of course I know your grandmother very well. Your other cousins, Gwen actually sung at my wedding, which was March of 1991, just to tell you how long I've been around the family. And so you were a lot younger than running around with your cousins and all that stuff, Janice's kids, Josephine's kids, and stuff like that. So we actually knew each other. So I hadn't seen you in that long either, and I didn't even put it together because I didn't know who was coming. They just told me that something was going on at the church, so I often support them at the church and all that stuff. So I said, yeah, I'll come over there, no problem. So I came, and then when I found out that it was you, and you were saying Uncle Joe and Aunt Jermaine, so I'm trying to put it together. And then I talk to you afterwards. So to find out that we're actually family, no matter how distant, I still consider us family. And so that was it was a plus. So joining your team was actually non-negotiable, and I didn't even give it a second thought.
Man, I appreciate that. I mean, because even though even though we're family at the time, we were complete, total strangers.
Right.
So what about that specific presentation made you know that this was for you? Because from what I understand, you've done network marketing or multi-level marketing in the past. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know if I necessarily done it, but I've been around. I've been exposed to it. I was about maybe 15, 16 years old, and my godmother was into it. She was back into the Shackley and the many people probably don't even understand that you have to be a certain age, but Dick Gregory used to do a thing called the Bohemian diet. And a lot of people were losing weight. It was like a shake that you had to make and stuff like that. And all of that, believe it or not, was multi-level marketing. So this was back in the 80s. We're talking about 85, 86, 84, somewhere around that thing. So it wasn't, multi-level marketing wasn't necessarily that big, except for maybe Mary Kay, Avon, people were touching and stuff like that, but nothing like this. So I knew what it was, but when you guys presented this opportunity, I saw that the plan was different in that you don't necessarily with those, even with Mary Kay, stuff like that, Avon, you seem like you make more money when you have the product stocked yourself, where people don't have to wait for the product, or they can get it, or when they come in, and there was a lot more upfront costs and different things like that. What I liked about this is, especially the business side, you are when you enroll, when you pay your fee, it's like your business is ready for you. You have a website, you have everything ready. You don't have to stock anything. You don't have to have anything. And basically, you're not even doing anything physically with people's information and social security number, stuff like that. So there is always going to the company. So you have a backing of a company that's been in business all these years that have proven themselves. So it's just so many different reasons. So I think I like that the best in the compensation plan. And the bonus of it, not only do you have your business, but the same thing that you're offering to everybody else to do, you can get done for free. So why wouldn't I want to take my score higher and get it to an 800 while I'm helping everybody else? It's like a no-brainer.
Absolutely. Hey, that reminds me, man, I just saw a post I just remember a post that you posted a couple days ago with like 100 and something point increase. Is that right, or am I off a little bit?
Yeah, it was 80 something, but yeah, you're very close. I think that the next one should be coming should be 100 and something, because hey, it's happening, man. And the beauty of that is just using the services that we have. I mean, we have a service that I've since sold my home and everything, and I'm probably going to purchase another one, but I'm living in an apartment now. And believe it or not, we have this service called Credit My Rent. So people think that just because you sell your home, you don't have the write-offs anymore, or it's not helping your credit. But I now even set up with this setup Credit My Rent. I didn't do it when I first joined because I thought, I don't really need it and stuff like that. But then remember, the company took it up a notch, and now we report to 2 credit bureaus. Before it used to be just TransUnion. Now it's TransUnion and Experian. TransUnion, I'm sorry, and Experian. So I said, man, let me get into this thing. I'm telling people about it. I need to be able to just say, yep, I'm in it too. I can show people and stuff like that. So I'm sure that it's going to go up even higher now, since they're pulling all this and it's going to the 2 credit bureaus. So yeah, I'm definitely a product of the product.
Absolutely, man. And that's a golden ticket right there that you just dropped, because a lot of people don't know that when you're going to buy a house, most times the bank look at your middle score. So if we're reporting to 2 of the credit bureaus, you got that covered.
Right.
You got that covered. So so that's powerful. And I'm looking at some of the comments, and Erica Barnett is just going nuts. in the comments, right? She's dropping all kinds of nuggets and stuff in there. We got Crystal Barnes online. There's a few people online. Hey, so as you guys come in, drop Davis Onque some love, man, because he's coming out here and showing you guys exactly what he did and why he did it. So Davis, I know you're a fan of Credit My Rent.
Yes.
But of all the services that we provide, what's your favorite?
Man, I think if I have to have a favorite, I would say, believe it or not, the will and trust.
Okay, why is that?
And the reason why, I mean, we have so many different services that I could pick, but I would say will and trust because all of my kids now are grown. So everybody's grown, everybody's out of the house, and I now have 2 grandchildren and another one on the way. So that's going to be 3 grandchildren. So we need to leave a legacy. And in order to do that, you have to have certain things in place. In the will and trust that comes with our program, it breaks everything down for you. I mean, it breaks everything. You can't go wrong with it, with the way that you plug everything in there and put it in. I mean, down to if I'm on a cruise and lose my passport, I can have them call back and home, and somebody can go into my lockbox and go in and get all the information I need, and my trip will not be interrupted. So this company has it so down pat for the same price that you come in to be a business partner, where if you did it on the outside, you would pay lawyers thousands and thousands of dollars. So that has to be my favorite at this time.
And that's a great tool, because I want to point out that service is of no extra cost, right? It comes as a part of the package. If you take advantage of the package and don't have a will, then that's on you, because it's free.
It's on you,
right? It's free. So we have so many opportunities and so many services to help people not just work on their credit, but work on their whole financial portfolio, right? I mean, we don't invest, right? But if you use our services, you will save money so that you can invest with your savings.
Right.
Right. We teach people about financial literacy. But all you got to do is take that knowledge and apply it. Right. So another question I had for you is that so a lot of people, when they see multi-level marketing, they run, right? Why do you think that happens?
Well, most people use that term. That sounds like a pyramid scheme, like only the person at the top is making money. And I'm gonna say this two different ways. First off, that couldn't be more not true. Number one, let's start from there. And secondly, if you really think about it, working a 9 to 5 can be a pyramid scheme. Think about it. Who's really making the money? Who's really making the bonuses based on what you do? And I can say that because I've been on both sides of it. I've managed people. I've gotten a bonus every year. I've gotten all of that based on what your team does. So the more money you save, no matter how it goes, if when it comes time for raises, you giving out percentages to your team, or somebody, the VP over you, comes and tell you, okay, these are the percentages you have to divvy out between your team, or what you don't spend throughout the course of the year would be better for your bonus. You know what I mean? So those seem like more of a pyramid scheme to me, but I can, I'm just, and I can explain that better, but we're not here for that today. But the compensation plan of this thing here, everybody can make money. Is no specific thing. You don't have to come from a special social economic background. Your language doesn't have to be as good as mine. You don't have to have a college degree. Isn't it funny that you have to have a college degree to work for a company, but you don't need one to start your own business? And that's really the only way to become financially secure, is by having your own.
You better say that, okay?
I mean, I just don't understand that. And of course, I I went to school too. You know what I mean? I haven't finished yet. I got about 30 or 40 more credits for a double degree. And I just was doing that because I was in the corporate world and I felt like I needed to have it. Because all the moving up and stuff I did was basically just on life experience, working, and of course God's favor. That's what got me, God's favor, and that's what's got me through a whole bunch of things. God's favor. I could tell you a whole bunch of stuff about my past and all that stuff where people would have been counting me out, and people even still kind of look at me like, I don't understand how are you even able to do that stuff? Because I know your past, but God's favor has done, you know, all of that, and been the one who brought me through and who's going to continue to bring me through, and he was going to have me excel in this business as well.
Man, I really appreciate that, because a lot of people, they look at, you know, they let their past hold them back, right? It's the opportunity to change everything is right there in front of them, but they will talk themselves out of a blessing, right? They will disqualify themselves. Okay. In this industry, especially with this company, we've got people who have been to prison, done some serious time, right? We've got doctors, right? We've got everybody in between, right? Because it doesn't matter where you came from, right, in this organization. And what I like to tell people is that everybody has a brand. Everybody. Whether you know it or not, you have a brand. Because a brand is simply what people think of you when they see you or hear your name or your voice.
Absolutely.
Right? What's the first thing that people think about? Right. And you have the ability to change that.
Yep.
Right. You have the ability to change your brand, but you have to make a decision to change your brand. Right. Now, you've been in corporate America for a long time, and you've been with the company for just over a year. Right. What would you say to people who believe that this is a get rich quick scheme?
Definitely not a get rich quick scheme, because you have to work at it. There's nothing you just sitting back and waiting for people to do things for you. You have to work. You have to put in the work, and you get exactly what you get out of it. So if you only have a certain amount of hours, or you can do it part-time, then that's what you get out of it part-time. But this company and this job has allowed people to walk off their 9 to 5. We have people in our own organization, single parent moms with children, that have left their job because this just started making that much money for them. So get rich quick, definitely not that. Now, if you do the right thing with the money that you make, it can definitely benefit you, and you can be prosperous and everything. Now, prosperity, a lot of people think that it's just money, but I've even heard my pastor, and he's kind of drilled in our head about, we define prosperity as balance increase in every area of your life. So we like to be prosperous, to be able to help other people, which that's monetarily, but you also want to be prosperous in your health. You want your family to be prosperous. You want your children to be prosperous. So that's balance increase across the board. So people always think that prosperity, we just talk about money, but that's just not the case. And because there's a lot of people with money that are miserable, that are still dying. You could die with a whole bunch of money. So you have this. It's all areas. That's just what it is.
That's absolutely true. But I do want to recognize that there is money to be made. Okay,
absolutely.
There's definitely money to be made. Shout out to my mentors, man. Everybody, Entrepreneurship, the Alliance, Money. Shout out to our team, Visionary Finders, right? Because I couldn't do what I do without you and people like you, right? I couldn't do what I do without the proper training. Right. And I forgot to shout out Goal Getters, right? Because I'm definitely plugged in with them.
Absolutely.
And I just take what they give me and I pour it into you guys, and you guys run with it. Right. See, I didn't have any experience in finance or anything like that. Right. A little bit about me. I've been in the Navy for the last almost 28 years. And before that, I worked at a grocery store in South Carolina. right? So I didn't know anything about, fixing anybody's credit. I didn't know anything about, running a business, even though I have a business degree, right? I didn't know anything about the practical application of running of running a business. Now I knew about team building, right? I knew about leadership, right? Because that's what I do in the military. I've been doing that for a long time. So I knew how to train, inspire, and motivate people. But what I didn't know was what to train them on, right? Right. I didn't know that, right? But Erica Barnett reminded me. Shout out to the Pink Millionaires, right? They taught me what to teach you, right? And all I do is duplicate what they did, right? So you don't have to figure this whole thing out, right? You don't have to figure it out. It's already figured out for you. All you got to do is do the work, right? Now, is it easy? Absolutely not, right? It's not easy, right? For some people it is, right? Initially, some people it is, but most of us have to start out in the trenches, right? But I would argue that if you're willing to go to work for somebody else to make somebody else rich, right, then you should be willing to work at least a quarter of that time on your own business for your own wealth, right? Now, what are some of the struggles that you've had since you've been in business? Because I don't want people to think like this is a walk in the park, or this is some kind of scam or anything like that. So what are some of your what were some of your struggles when you first started up until now?
Oh man, some of the struggles I had was people. One of the main things, people are, when you talk to them about it, they are kind of gung-ho, excited. And then something happens between the time they don't sign up right then and there and in between. So a lot of times you don't get the calls back when you text them, or when you call them, they don't answer the phone or anything like that. So that's definitely a struggle in it. But also, sometimes going to get the people. See, when I started, it wasn't a pandemic. So this was, you talking about February of last year. The pandemic didn't start to about maybe a month later. So we were even when I joined UC, I met it. It was a live event, PBR, with you guys. But after that, we had to change the way we did things, and which we've adapted well, doing Zooms and things of that nature. And people are coming on and doing stuff like that. But I think that the face to face, I think, was a little more effective. So we had to just adapt with the way things were going. So the pandemic definitely has been a difference in the way that we do things. So I would say that it slowed down a little bit because of that. But we still been helping a lot of people. People buying homes. People are buying cars and doing different things. Owning their own businesses, walking off their jobs. Taking care of their families. Even during a pandemic, we haven't missed a beat. You know what I mean? People still getting paid every week, checks coming in every week. Everything that we're supposed to be doing is happening. So it's just, we just have to continue to be diligent and stay committed to the things that we're doing in order to keep going where we want to go.
And that's so true, because as you pointed out, you joined the business right before the pandemic, right? Like right before. And had you known that there was a pandemic coming, you probably wouldn't have joined right then, right? But I mean, that's neither here nor there, because we weren't in that situation at the time.
Right.
But I will tell you that I've talked to a lot of people, especially around the beginning of the pandemic, even up until like right now. And they blame the pandemic as the reason why they're not joining. Right. Meanwhile, my organization tripled in size since the pandemic. Right. Triple. Right. Because I got people out there that realize that they don't want to depend on another man to feed their family. Right. But then there's other people out there that don't believe in themselves. Right. Because I like to, one of the mantras that I live by is, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Right.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Right. You think you can't do it, you're right. You're absolutely right. Right. But if you think you can do it and you're willing to to bet on yourself and do the work required to make it happen, or make the changes required to make it happen, then you can absolutely do it. I don't care what walk of life you've come from, right? We've got 23-year-olds in this business killing the game.
Killing.
Right? Killing the game. 7-figure earners at 23 years old. And some of them are single moms, right? Single moms, right? Driving free vehicles and things like that. They earned, right? And all they did was help other people.
That's it.
Right? All they did was, somebody came to them with a problem. They showed them how to fix it, and they got rewarded for it. Right? We've got people, especially one of my mentors, he will flat out tell you that he was unemployable, right? Unemployable, because he would get a job, and in the first, 2-3 days, he's trying to figure out your schedule, right? So he can figure out when he can go to sleep, right? You know what I mean? But because he wasn't meant to be in, for example purposes, he wasn't meant to be in shackles, right? He was meant to, to be able to move, right? And as soon as he started this business, he was allowed the freedom to move like he needed to move, and he changed the whole trajectory of his family's life. In fact, he left $1.09 in his bank account to start this business, right? Now the dude's a millionaire driving a Maybach. You know what I mean? And this is like 5 summers ago. Right.
Not long ago.
Right. But you think, working all year, working for 10 years and don't have $500 saved up in your bank account, you think that you think that's legitimate, right? But people have to make a decision that they want to change, right? If you don't change, nothing will. And that's just a fact. You can wait on your blessing, right? But even the Bible says faith without works is dead.
Being alone, that's right.
Right? Faith without works is dead, right? You have the skills or you have the ability, right? All you have to do is make the decision. You're not trapped where you are, right? So what would you say to those people who are like right there on the edge and just won't take that leap of faith? What would you say to those people?
I would say jump. You're right at the edge, jump. I mean, what do you have to lose?
A bad credit score.
That's it.
Right.
which is something to gain. You know what I mean? You could gain something from it. So, I mean, you have nothing else to lose. Why would you not take the chance on everything else? This business, literally, you can get this business. And like he said, a millionaire now after 5 years, the price of this business is less than a pair of Jordans. People buying them all the time. Stimulus checks done dropped. All kinds of stuff done dropped. The malls and everything are packed. Everybody's shopping. Walk around, leaving out a Foot Locker with 2 and 3 bags.
To go to the bus stop.
Can you believe that? Or at home and trying to figure out how they're going to finagle with the landlord, how they can't pay their rent. You know, my father, I didn't learn much from my father because him and my mother, they split up kind of early in my life. But the little things that he would drop, first of all, he always was an entrepreneur. He had his own landscaping and tree service business. So I've been around entrepreneurs all my life. So I knew early on that the only way you could become financially free is to have your own. So I knew that all along. Grandfathers, father, everybody. But one thing he always said is, people don't know when you're outdoors, but they know when you're hungry. And some people listen to this live might catch that later, but just think about that. They don't know. But when you carrying bags out and all that stuff, and then you trying to figure out how you're going to pay this or how you're going to do that, your priorities are not in the right place. You know what I mean? And all of the stuff will come when you take care of the right things that are supposed to happen. It come naturally.
Absolutely. One of the best things that I like about being in this particular business is because we get to help people, right? We get to help, right? I've risked my life for the last 28 years serving people of this country, right? I can't tell you where I've been and what I've done and things like that, but just know that, it's been on the line a few times, right? In some pretty scary situations sometimes. And this business allowed me to continue to do that, but from the comfort of wherever I happen to be, right? I can work this business from the airplane. I can work this business from Jamaica if I decided to go there. I can work this business from literally anywhere. All I need is a cell phone. Well, not even a cell phone, right? A landline, I could do it, but a cell phone just makes it easier, right? But all I need is a phone and the access to the internet, right? And I can continue to help people, right? This is a life-changing opportunity for me, especially for me, because I made a major life-altering decision based on the instant success that I've had with this company, right? For anybody who knows me and who's known me for a long time, my career in the military is pretty successful, right? Pretty successful. Okay. But I decided to cut my career in the military short because of the success that I was having in this company. Right. So I'm walking away from my job security, right? Because the military wasn't hit by the pandemic, right? We were still, if you were active duty, you were still, not affected by it. You still got paid on the 1st and 15th. You didn't have to worry about losing your job or what have you, right? But I'm walking away from that because this allows me to do so much more for so much more people directly, right? Because it's one thing, right? I walk down the street in my uniform, people say, thank you for your service, this, that, and the other, right? And that's cool, right? And I appreciate them acknowledging the sacrifices. But to know that I made a direct impact in their life when they call me up and say, hey, my credit score just increased by this many points. What is the next thing I'm supposed to do?
Absolutely.
Right? They directly link me to that. And all I really am is the messenger. Right? That's it. I'm just the feeling. Right? I didn't even put my life on the line to help them with their credit, but they are so much more appreciative.
Right. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, man, that being said, man, Davis, I know you're a busy person. And I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm probably keeping you from a call right now.
Hey, man, this is important, man. This is important. I think people need to know and people need to hear. Because, like I said, they see our pages sometime and just see, okay, he posting stuff. He just posting. Is it really real? Is it this? Is that even a real person? They need to see. We real. We real. It's real. You know what I mean? You can't make up stuff that's coming from these 3 credit bureaus and all of that. This stuff is really happening. You know what I mean? And I just hope that other people just cling on to this, and so that we can just help change. We just trying to change people's lives. That's all we're trying to do. The best way we can, one person at a time. That's what we're here to do.
Okay. So, do you have any parting words for our audience today?
If I had any parting words, anybody that's listening to this live or even have visited our pages or anything like that, now is your chance to get in on the deal. Get in on it. I mean, we're here for you. We're trying to help. Our team is ready to do whatever we need to do to get you where you need to be for whatever the reason. You might already be in your house. You may already be in the car of your dreams and stuff like that, but you're paying a high interest rate or your insurance rate is kind of high because your credit has gone a little high, or some things on your credit report that you just need to get off of there. Medical bills, student loans. You may have filed bankruptcy some years ago or something like that. These are things that we can have disputed for you legally. And I'm telling you, just give us a shot, give us a call, comment on this, get into whatever you need to do to get in touch with us so that we can get you started.
Okay. Thank you for that. And I want to also point out that maybe you have excellent credit. Maybe you have near perfect credit, but you're looking for an opportunity to start setting yourself up to leave corporate America, right? Maybe that's the opportunity for you. Maybe you don't need credit repair, but you're looking for a way to create multiple streams of income, right? Information is free. Information is absolutely free. So if any of what we talked about interests you, I want you to reach out to one of us so that we can share some information with you. Davis, how would people get a hold of you if they wanted to get a hold of you?
All right. Well, you can get a hold of me through my Facebook, which is at Davis Onque. You can get me on Instagram, which is at Dave Onque, DAVE Onque, and also my LinkedIn, which is Davis Onque as well. So either one of those, you can reach me, and I'm on there all the time. And believe me, we can get in there. And just like he was saying about the flexibility, as I said in the beginning, when I was talking in the beginning, I'm now on dialysis 3 days a week and have been on it since March of 2017. But even at dialysis, with only having one arm to use, I can still talk to people and do different things from my phone. So I'm still working. I'm in meetings. I'm handling phone calls. I'm doing that even while hooked up to the machine for 4 hours and 15 minutes. So if I can do that, I know somebody else could do this with part-time or whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely. So once again, I want to say thanks, King. I mean, you really came in and dropped a lot of knowledge, because I know there's people out there that have questions that don't want to ask the question, right? Because they feel like when they ask the question, we're going to try and sell them something. No, I'm not trying to sell you nothing. Right? I'm trying to show you how to change your life, whether that be by improving your credit or presenting you the business opportunity, or both. Right. I'm just trying to show you the information. So like I said, the information is free. Now that everybody knows how to get a hold of you, Davis, I want to again publicly thank you for taking the time out.
Thanks for inviting me, man. This was very, very appreciative, and I guess we're going to have to do it again as time goes on. I'm sure we're going to have some more to tell people, but I appreciate you even inviting me to this, man. This was nice. I like it.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and get back to it. Right. I mean, I got a few calls here in a bit, and we actually have a webinar happening here in about 8 minutes.
Absolutely.
Hey, so if you're watching this and you want some more information, just comment agent in the actually just comment info, because I don't at this point, for this webinar, it doesn't matter if you're looking for credit repair or the business opportunity. Just comment info. We'll get you over to our webinar so that you can see for yourself exactly what it is we do, just so you can get a little bit more information so that you can make the best decision for you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Once again, thank you all. Good night. Love you all.
All right. Good night, man.